Hey everyone, welcome to 2019. We've got the weekly Bytes, our first episode in the new year. There's some exciting news. It's an exciting time of year to be in tech news, so let's dive in. Over the holidays, news about AMD's Ryzen 3000 series, or the third generation of Ryzen, leaked out onto the internet through a Russian source. We got a sampling of what we can come to expect from the new Ryzen CPUs. Unsurprisingly, Ryzen and AMD have launched the new Ryzen 9 class to compete with Intel's i9. Not an original thought, but what can you do? The top-end Ryzen 9 3800X is going to sport a whopping 16 cores and 32 threads. I guess the i9 9900K is going to have to jump off a cliff or something because its paltry 8-core, 16-thread performance might not cut it in a multi-core world. Its only claim to fame probably will still only be its single-core performance, which is pretty sad from a single or a multi-core processor. Anyways, rumors are that we may get more details from AMD at CES 2019 next week, so we'll stay tuned. And in case you missed that little tidbit, CES 2019 is coming up next week. It's going to run from Tuesday, January 8th until Friday, January 11th. It's going to be filled with product announcements. I'm sure that we're going to get some previews on Monday, the 7th. CES is kind of the defining tech conference for each year. They define what is the in and cool tech for the year. So we'll see what 2019 is going to bring. In other news, Netflix is killing off their in-app purchases on the iOS platform. They're the latest company to buck the Apple tax and say we're going to do it our way. It's now 2019, which means we can wave goodbye to the Snapdragon 845 chipset and say hi, welcome to the Snapdragon 855. One of the first flagship phones, is going to be the Samsung Galaxy S10, but you can expect to see a ton of other phones like the Sony Xperia XZ4, the LG G8, the V50, probably a Huawei P30 variant. And of course, I'm expecting the OnePlus 7 to sport the 855 as well. Nvidia is facing a potential class action lawsuit from investors. This isn't new news, but it's still in the news. They're being sued because Nvidia's CEO came out last summer and said, investors, don't worry. When the crypto market crashes, our business model is resilient and it won't be affected. The stock price won't be affected. Our profits won't be affected because gamers are going to fill that void. Ironically, the crypto market crashed. Nvidia's stock price crashed. Their profits crashed. And AMD isn't having these issues. So, investors are holding Nvidia and their CEO to account for the statements they made. Normally, this wouldn't be something that you could sue over, but because Nvidia went on record saying, don't you worry investors, you've got nothing to worry about, there's a class action lawsuit. Is there still a GTX 1100 series in the works? Rumors say yes. You can probably expect from the 1100s all the goodness of a new generation. More performance, better frame rates than anything you got out of the 1000 series GTX cards. But one thing that will definitely be missing is ray tracing. That you're going to have to go to the RTX series for, and that resides in the 2000 series monikers. Is it going to be any good? Probably. Nvidia's got a great track record of outperforming previous generations. So I look forward to seeing what it has to offer when it comes out. Unsurprisingly, iOS 13 is already in development. I mean, Apple has a history of announcing their new operating systems in early summer, so like I said, it's not a surprise, but there have been indicators on the internet and in beta releases of iOS 13 references. And lastly, Huawei wished everyone a Happy New Year a couple days ago on Twitter from an iPhone. That's right, they're the latest company to use a competing platform on social media and be caught doing it. I'm not surprised. I think that any good company is going to use their competitors' products to know what's better out on the market, what's worse, where they need to step up their game, etc., etc., etc. So, should they be using it for public visibility applications? Probably not. But there are worse things. So, with that, we're going to wrap up the weekly Bytes for today. You can all expect us to be online daily next week covering CES. We're going to be covering each day's headlines at the end of the day, publishing a weekly Bytes episode so that you can stay informed about what's happening, what's new, what crazy things manufacturers are doing, like LG and 8K OLED, for example. Can all dream about that sitting on our living room walls for a second. But we need 8K content for that to become any practical reality for us. But we can dream. Anyways, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you all later. Have a great day.